I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. In this episode, we're going to speak briefly about a comment made by the pastor of the Wells family, describing Summer as a free spirit. David Ryder-Toad, WVLT News reporter Ashley Bowl. Unfortunately, I don't think there's an audio recording of it. That he described Summer Wells as a free spirit. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean anything? Is it true? I think it is, and I think it says something about the overall child psychology aspect of this case. Before we get to this episode, if you haven't subscribed, please do like, share, leave a comment, and let's get started. So, we've all seen Candace and heard Candace talking about the fact that she just absolutely knows that Summer wouldn't go wandering around the property, that Summer wouldn't wander off the yard. And then you actually hear Don saying the same thing.
Or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. 'Cause a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. And
She loved to be outside.
Yep. And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving.
Now, contrast that. So, first of all, it's the statement that Summer wouldn't wander off, with the pastor saying that she's a free spirit, and also her father saying that she loved to be outside. People who are outside are wandering around. Children sort of do that all the time. And so there's a bit of a mismatch here between this idea that she wouldn't wander off and the fact that she does seem to be a free-spirited person, more so than certainly the other children in the church. So in the church footage, you can clearly see her wandering around the church, wandering around places where other children typically wouldn't wander around. And there seem to be other children of a similar age, and yet it's just Summer doing that. And what is actually going on there? Why is she wandering off? I think some of it is possibly due to being left on her own for quite often. Summer's had to preoccupy herself. She's got 3 brothers. She might sometimes want to play her own kind of games. Her father's always working. Her mother might be doing something. So she probably was someone who got to wander around quite a lot. The question is, why are parents so adamant that she didn't walk away, that she didn't wander around? And I think the answer is because they don't want searchers to look for Summer close to the property. Does that make sense? They don't want this idea that, Summer got lost in the area and go and look in the area close to the house. And they're quite adamant that they think Summer is far away. And yet these statements don't match up with, well, she's a free spirit and she's an outdoor person, but no, she would never wander around. She would never wander beyond the property. And you might say, yes, well, she would never go beyond the bottom of the road, but if you look at the church footage once again, then you would say, well, you would imagine the stage should be off limits. Certain parts of the church would be, when someone is standing on the stage, on the podium, that would be off limits, and it's not, because she's quite a free spirit, because she's curious and she is wandering around. I think that also raises the possibility that something innocent could have happened to Summer, where she could have just wandered off and fallen or something like that. I don't believe it, but I think it's definitely a possibility. I just don't see an innocent explanation for I don't know how the parents, or why the parents can be so certain that she didn't wander off, unless there is something that needs to be hidden away, something that they know, some knowledge that they have, because they're both explicit, they're both adamant that there was an abduction, and even the police aren't convinced of that. The police, as recently as a few days ago, have said, everything is still on the table. And then I think one's got to bring this back to the swimming hole and ask, did her free-spiritedness play a role in what happened there? Was she a bit too exuberant, a bit too enthusiastic, swimming in that shallow water? What happened there? I'm not going to take it further than that. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.